welcome to the maiden edition of Last This Week.
And what he is praying now is
that in this scenario, that Key of Kano State
will be given priorities and so that at the end of
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
My pleasure too.
For the sake of audience at home, I'd like you to introduce yourself.
I'm Honorable Kalejaiye Adeboye Paul. I represent the good people of Aderomi Ifelodun Federal Constituency, the one I call Mini Nigeria, because that is the only local government that houses all the ethnic nationalities in Nigeria. I'm from Lagos State, the state of aquatic splendor.
Well, once again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You raised a salient motion today on the floor, and we would like you to give us insights on that motion that has to do with health.
Well, like it's been acclaimed all over the world, health is wealth. But quite unfortunately, that is one thing that we, particularly as Nigerians, don't pay attention to. We pay attention to so many other things rather than our health. Some out of ignorance, some out of busy schedules, some out of nonchalant attitude. And the major known killer disease all over the world is high blood pressure and diabetes. I'm not saying there are no other killer diseases, but these are diseases that are preventable, that are avoidable. Whereas, God forbid, if somebody has cancer, apart from being expensive to manage, you don't get treatments just on the streets. But if you are diabetic, you can get treatments even in the nearby shop. How? All you need to do is to check your sugar level regularly. When you check your sugar level regularly, you know what exactly to eat, what not to eat, what to take and what not to take. If you are hypertensive, and one major problem with hypertension is the fact that it's a death sentence that you hardly will know. And it's sort a disease that occur on time. It has time. What do I mean by has time? You may wake up this morning and your blood pressure is normal. But if you undergo certain activities or you encounter certain things that are not pleasant to you, it could change your high blood level. If you quarrel unnecessarily and you're angered, even though in the morning your blood pressure is normal, that anger may trigger your blood pressure. In other words, blood pressure is something we need to check regularly. But then, more compounded is the fact that those who suffer majorly from high blood pressure and diabetes, particularly high blood pressure, are the rich people. The rich people are so busy chasing money, chasing wealth, chasing contracts, chasing all kinds of things. And hardly do they have time to pay attention to their blood level. For instance, busy people want to catch air, they want to fly. They are catching flight at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. They're in Abuja in the morning. They're in Lagos in the afternoon. Some are in Lagos today. In the evening, they are in UK. Some are in Lagos today. In the next 48 hours, they're in US, chasing one thing or the other. So in that busy schedules, it's most difficult for you to check your blood pressure regularly. So that's why I have raised a motion today, which has been accepted, that in our airports, we must have an health checkpoint. An health checkpoint where it is not compulsory, it is free, it is at your pleasure. Maybe you still have 1 hour to your flight, still have some 5-10 minutes to spare. You can just enter the health check spot. Then they check your BP. It doesn't take more than 5 minutes. If your blood level is not normal, it reminds you that, oh, I've not taken my drug today if you're on drug. If it's not normal, you're not on drug, it tells you that, look, you are moving towards the drug level. If you are not using drug, it tells you that you must take things lightly. Maybe you need some 30 minutes rest even before you board your plane. If that plane cannot fly you that hour, you can reschedule your flight. So it triggers some caution for everyone that is traveling. So it's not compulsory, it's just voluntary. If you choose to do it, fine. And if you need medication, like the presiding speaker was asking me when I moved the motion that, how do we fund it? And I'm saying that, look, it does not require high-level funding, because you are not asking the Minister of Health through the Minister of Aviation fund to go and be buying drugs for people. No. We're only saying health checkpoint. The pharmaceutical companies exist in all our airports. If they ask you, your blood level is high, man, what drug are you on? And you say you are supposed to, can you just, they give you a prescription note, you just enter the pharmaceutical shop and then you can buy your drug. So I'm not looking at funding as anything so major. What government needs to do is to provide a space, and before I moved the motion, I went to at least 4 major airports in Nigeria to do my investigation. And in the course of my investigation, I found out that we have some form of health check centers, like those who are issuing the vaccines card, that's your yellow fever vaccine card. They exist for instance, in Lagos International Airport, they exist in one small corner upstairs. If you're hypertensive, before you even climb those stairs, but there is no lift to that place, before you climb that, it will aggravate your health conditions. And then they're not majorly there to check such things. They're just there to issue your vaccine card. So what I'm trying to say is that we could do all of this by just creating. I interviewed people from the customer care session, and I saw a large space that they use. They are doing nothing. And some of them that I spoke to said, look, we can create a space here. So even a customer check where people will sit down waiting, whatever. While you are waiting, some people sit down for 30 minutes, 1 hour before they board their plane. You can just put your hand there and they do a check for you. So that's what the motion is all about. It's for safety. Because you remember, many people slump and die while traveling. I've lost a friend's wife. On the point of entry at UK, she slumped and she died. We've lost so many people. My motion did not make mentions of name because we had to protect their identity. But I have records of people who have slumped and died at the airports.
So Honorable, what you're trying to tell us is for accessibility. It should be there. That's one of the motions is for easy accessibility of such facility.
Exactly.
And that is called for maybe partnership between the government and the private sector as well to see how to come up with such facility as well.
I'm not looking at the private sector per se.
Okay.
Because the private people don't own the airport. The airport is owned by government, controlled by FAN. Are you following what I'm saying? Yes. In provision of space, they provide. Provision of health professionals is government. So perhaps what would the private sector do? Maybe they want to donate drugs and whatever. But I don't want a situation where we go into a comprehensive medical checkup.
Just a unit.
A unit. That's all I want. So it doesn't become cumbersome to operate. Most of our resolutions need to be implemented. And when you're passing a resolution, a motion in the House, you must be futuristic and look at the implementation strategies. If your implementation strategies are not right, you may not get the motion implemented.